it is your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We're zooming in and focusing in on a very important topic, and that really comes to redirecting your life. Getting more positive things, situations, events, experiences in your life going after a relationship with a malignant narcissist. Oftentimes there's a real void or a sense of pain in life which is keeping you stuck, and it's really that we want to address, because we want to address not only to understand what happened, but understand what you can really do to move forward and really kind of turn everything around. And before we get started, I want to give a huge shout out to those of you who have recently made a donation to the channel. Particularly, we have a very lovely viewer in the beautiful area of Italy. Thank you so much for your recent generosity and donation to the channel. Love you so much. Thank you so much for your viewership. I'm so glad you have had found a resource of knowledge, understanding, and tools here to be able to make sense of some oftentimes very confusing and hurtful relationship issues that have gone on, and to provide you and keep you on the up and up. It is contributions and donations from viewers like you that keep me inspired to keep creating content and to keep bringing it forth to you. So thank you so much for your input. I have so much valuation for you and your feedback, and I'm going to keep the content going. Thank you so very much. And I want to get started here and really zoom in into furthermore understanding, not only in understanding and getting a handle, coming to grasp on really an understanding intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually what a malignant narcissist is, does, how it feels. Because oftentimes all these are so discombobulated that we can't sort it out. We can't understand, am I becoming too sensitive, or did this really happen? Am I too sensitive? Did this really happen? The denial starts to stay in place, and oftentimes that is one of the great deterrents to moving through and healing successfully. The feelings of guilt also, having not, allowing this to happen, or, in the name of love, and feeling defeated. Maybe there's, a personal criticism that is combined with this feeling of being stuck or feeling hurt or wounded, or I can't go on, or I can't, imagine my life. There's all sorts of, musicals about this. So there's a romance to being stuck. There's a payoff to being depressed. There's, a sort of wonderful sorrow that can be, prolonged oftentimes when you are in a relationship with a malignant narcissist, where people will stay in that melancholy, down, depressed state and lethargy. But then if you don't attend to it, it can be prolonged for weeks and months and then years. And, time is your most precious commodity. And it is time you must now begin to heal through. Give yourself, yes, the legitimate suffering, the time you need to make, assessments and the lessons learned from this relationship. That's why I talk about how important it is in the recovery journal to have a section which, if it's 30 pages long, then it is going to be 30 pages long. You are needing to have an area of your recovery journal which begins with lessons learned. And lessons learned are not just lessons, they are lessons learned. Because if we don't learn these lessons, we are doomed to repeat. And repeat we will. And sometimes the lessons become more severe and more painful if we don't learn them. And so that's why oftentimes the pain can become so disastrous. The pain can seem like it's attached with this one person, and then we begin to use the mental homeostasis mechanism, which is, if only I could, sort this out with this one person. So then the lessons learned seem to be fooled by the mind, to be seeming as if, this was the cause of the pain, so I must resolve it here. In other words, I must have closure with this person. This is the cause of my pain. I must go there to resolve the pain. It's basically like getting a virus on your computer and expecting the virus to cure the virus. It is not going to happen. You need to get a whole nother system to get that virus system out of your computer. The malware. You need to do a cleanse of the hard drive. You need to go through a re-imaging of the hard drive. You need to get that virus out of the system. You can't fix the virus with the virus. it's going to make it worse. And then that's why we see the ruminations, we see the flashbacks, we see the crying, we see the degenerative diseases, trying to cure the pain with the source of the pain itself. It is not going to take place there. And oftentimes that is the very denial. If only, we could sort this out. If only we could shake hands. If only we could hug. If only we could kiss. If only we could shake hands and make up. If only, we could do this. We could come to an amicable agreement. That's how the mind is naturally going to work, because you want to resolve it at the source, but that is the wrong source. You need to turn away from that source, no matter how much you have memorized or hounded in your mind's eye, your heart's eye, your physical eye, for having memorized, repeated again and again. In other words, repeated the thoughts, repeated the feelings, repeated the self-talk that, I have to heal it here. That we have to say, okay, let's stop. That is not the source of healing in the source of the wound. We need to separate from that. That is erroneous thinking. We are thinking the wrong solution. That is not the solution. The solution is the hurt. The solution is to separate yourself and your I am from that source totally. Well, isn't that going a little bit overboard? Is your identity not caught up in this individual? Is your identity in feeling not caught up in the things that they've said or made you feel about yourself? Is your self-assessment not determined a little bit as a measuring stick by this individual? Is the locus of control in this individual? If you can say unequivocally yes, then that means that this person, you have allowed this one person to make an assessment, a judgment, and a determination over you, your qualities, your ability to love, your ability to give, your ability to cook, clean, have a job, smile, go where you want to in life, has been caught up and anchored in this person. That is unequivocally the wrong place to have the anchor. The anchor is within you, yourself, your heart, your mind, your spirit, your solar plexus. That is the seat of the I am. It's not here. I am is not coming from here. I am is coming from your solar plexus underneath the rib cage, your core. And that's why people oftentimes will have their core distorted. They'll have their, hip issues, walking issues, pelvic issues. They'll begin to have a lot of tension, holding a lot of tension in their back, having, having difficulty strengthening their core muscles, having, a lot of belly fat, lack of core, lack of I am, lack of attention to this area, lack of emotional attention. I can think right now and I can put my consciousness here. My consciousness is near here and speaking, and I'm speaking from the heart. But if I go into my I am, I can get my consciousness in my core. I know where it is. I've been able to locate that. If you need to locate that, you need to locate that. And the I am needs to be spoken in a strong, assertive tone. And it's not like I am. It's not coming from up here. It's coming from in here. And if you've never spoken your I am with a sense of commitment and 100% wholeness and meant it seriously and validated it, I don't care how old you are, if you're a teenager, if you're a grown adult, if you're a grandmother, an aunt, an uncle, I don't care who you are, but if you have never been able to really pound and kind of feel I am in here, you need to pay attention to that, and you need to begin focusing on that and speaking from that area of your being. Because oftentimes people are speaking too much from the wounded part, because the individual has now gotten control of that. They're underneath your solar plexus. They're in here. They don't belong in there. You belong in there. Your higher self belongs in there. Your body, mind, and spirit in congruence belongs in there. This emotionally manipulative individual, I don't care if this person had the title of spouse, boss, sibling, brother, mother, father, neighbor, postman, doctor, whatever label it is that they had, you belong there. They don't belong there. You need to get them out. You need to work on your affirmations and your I am, I am, I am. Not as you're speaking it to them. You don't need to, tell them, I am a daughter, I'm a husband, I'm a spouse, I'm a wife, I'm a this. You need to say the I am from you as a whole individual, independent human being. Not as it's caught up, or, like two pieces in a puzzle fitting together. Not like that, as in one whole piece. Like, in other words, I am one piece. I am one whole individual human being. I am. I am. And then you might just need to focus on I am. You might need to, stay in the beginning. And then I am whole. I am independent. I am feeling. I am sentient. I am. I am. I am alive. I am at peace. I am strong. I am bold. I am committed. I am confident. I am inspired. I am excited. Begin to say these things not as a pawn, but as a self-generating individual human being. And oftentimes this has been compromised when you are in a relationship with a malignant narcissist or a psychopath. They have gotten in there. They have gotten underneath. They have taken hold and ownership of that very important real estate, which is your own internal real estate, your own. That is where you reside. That is an asset. That is like a home that you need to attend to. You need to find that gem in the rubble. You need to say, I am. I found it. I found it. I am. And begin to just stay on that and stay in that vibration and begin to resonate positively. I am relieved. I am relieved. I am sad. I am tearful. I was afraid. I was fearful. Acknowledge your feelings and then allow it to alchemize from that negative, fearful to the positive. And it might take a couple weeks, it might take a couple months, but stay on it you must. And you need to kind of get that new feeling and really learn it, rememorize this feeling within you. And you're going to feel new. It's going to feel different. It's going to feel awkward. I haven't been able to feel this way before. I haven't been able to talk to these type of people before. I never pursued this and this before. I never started making decisions in this way. You need to then now begin to say and ask yourself these questions. If I was not so held back by feelings of hurt, I would love to. If I was not so distracted by feelings of anger, I would really love to. If I was not so broken down by feelings of hurt, I would really love to begin and fill in the blanks. Begin to fill in the blanks. Begin to open up that part of yourself which has been sort of muddied over, that's been muffled over, that's been drowned out. Begin to recover that sense of I am. And begin to pay attention because it might come up in a quick notice. And if you don't have pen and paper in hand, you might not write down what it is that you're thinking, feeling, or need to do. Oh, I'm not a jewelry smith. I'm not a silversmith. I'm not a tailor. I'm not a painter. I'm not a happy person. I don't have control over my emotions. And you'll just, these will flip in and out in a second's notice. As I think it was the great Einstein said, it's 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. Learn to pay attention to that little 1% of your consciousness today and begin to write it down. Keep a notebook, keep several notebooks, keep them wherever you're at and begin to write down those feelings, your I am. Even if you just write down I am 1,000 times, you'll be 100 miles, 1,000 miles, 1,000,000 miles further than where you were before you first wrote that down because you're beginning to wake up that center of you. And you'll begin then to surround yourself with people, event, and things which then reinforce that very positive, lovable, special, and effervescent, life-giving person that has been waiting for attention within yourself. It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.